Welcome to Liverpool, then and now.
God has donated us these leisure.
Representing the people they conquered. These are carved keystones above the windows at Liverpool City Hall. In the Barclays main conference room,
Tied to Neptune's scepter is the African spear, with coins in the clamshell.
around the whole fireplace. And as we look at this man called Neptune, with this depiction, this card, Neptune has glasses, eyewear, and he also has breasts, symbolizing the effects on the people that they had conquered to ensure they would always depend on them, which gives us money and coin to put in our pocket to increase our riches. And their vision of us as two African boys standing under Neptune's hand, we are just children compared to him and his wickedness. The 42 principles of Mayat, the most important ones and the hardest to do in this day and time, are the principles which state, I have not used my evil thoughts or words or deeds. I have not polluted the water. I have not spoken angrily or arrogantly. I have not cursed anyone in thought or word or deed. I have not placed myself on a pedestal. And I have not stolen that which belongs to God. All these principles take discipline and add to the quality of life, helped us rule for over 1,000 years in peace. A man who is noble does not pretend not to be a noble, any more than an eloquent man feigns eloquence. When a man exaggerates his qualities, it is because of something lacking in himself. The bully gives himself airs because he is conscious of his weakness. Pride is ugly in all men. It is worse than cruelty, which is the worst of sins. And humility is better clemency, which is the best of good deeds. The grand object of English navigators, indeed all Christian navigators, is money, money, money. The poor, wretched natives are rendered so much more miserable by the Christians, abominable traffic of slaves, and the horrid cruelty and treachery of the petty kings. Pope Benedict XVI acknowledged Thursday, with great shame, that Christianity had used force in its history, as he joined about 300 religious leaders from around the world in condemning violence and terrorism in God's name. 2-volume set that described the colonies upon their arrival and the process they used to colonize. To oppress a race and then label its reactions as mental illness is not only morally wrong, it is criminal and a fraud. In 1965, the United States Elementary and Secondary Education Act established special education, a lucrative psychiatric program that now costs the taxpayers around $31 billion a year. Children who qualify for those classes are diagnosed mentally retarded, seriously emotionally disturbed, or learning disabled. Through this, psychiatry has been able to turn education into a medical problem with catastrophic results. 7 out of 10 special education students drop out, age out, reach their 22nd birthday, are expelled, or leave school with unearned diplomas. Only a relative handful actually complete a standard high school curriculum. British psychologist Herbert Spencer coined the term survival of the fittest and believed that inferior people should be eliminated to improve racial stock.
We have to recognize that being African today is actually quite futuristic. We're not saying that we're going back to how we used to live 500 years ago, because 500 years ago we didn't necessarily have a common African identity. But part of repairing ourselves would be to repair some of the weaknesses that we had in some of our ancient systems, some of the quirks even in our identities. And we have to reformulate that. And we have to look at what is required today. You know, what is it we have to do? What is the legacy we're going to leave?
We need to revert back to what our forefathers used to say, that we need to be proud to be African. So all these values are human values in my understanding. So we therefore need to ensure that we preserve that African heritage. And the only way to preserve that African heritage, we need to transmit from generation to the next so that these things are not